Okay, so hello guys. I think this stream started. Hopefully it did. So yeah, just give me a second to share the screen. Um, so here and also think here, yeah, and then maybe here. Okay, yeah, that's about it. I think. So yeah, let's get started. I'm really sorry. Okay, so what was I doing yesterday? I think I was trying to clean up some stuff, and then I was also trying to, get this transition of changing the fonts properly. So yeah, so for that, what we need to do is we need to create a new blueprint class or font character. Call it what do you call it? Character switcher or something. Character underscore switcher. Okay, and this will be our phone. We'll go and open it. So we need to add a camera component to this and make that the root. Compile, save, and I think we are done with this, at least for now. So how do we set this up? So you know that we can possess characters, right? Just like that, we can possess this pawn too. So what we are going to do is, whenever we are trying to switch, we are not directly switching to that character, or I mean the next character, but we are going to switch to, I mean, we are going to be possessing this pawn character. Then we are going to move the camera which is inside it towards the, I mean, we'll lerp it to the camera of the other character. If that makes sense, and then we are going to possess that character. So it will be like some smooth transition. Okay. So how am I going to do this? So obviously we are not going to have this thing over here right here. We'll need to how do I do this? Instead of possessing, maybe we can have in a character switch thing, we can maybe have an event or something. Again, I mean custom event, add custom event, yeah. She'll say possess this underscore character, and this will compile it, save it, and yeah, and we'll go back to human, and we're going to, okay. So first of all, we need a reference to a camera switcher character, which we don't have any, and it's not created anywhere. So where are we creating all these references? We are creating it in game instance, right? So we are going to need to have another game reference variable called char underscore switcher, and it will be of the type character switcher. Wait, yeah, character switcher object reference. Yeah, and compile save. So and oh, how are we doing this? Yeah, yeah. Okay. So when we are How are we spawning this way? We are spawning this way in character spawn, so we are going to go there and we are going to add another pin, and then we are going to spawn the actor. Okay, so do, do we need another branch and another variable? We should probably have that, right? So let's go back to our game instance, add another variable, calling it character switcher. I mean, let's just make it cs underscore exists, and it will be a boolean. Compile, save, and it will be false by default, yeah. And then we can get this cs exists, and we are going to have another branch. So cs doesn't exist. So cs doesn't exist, because if it exists, then this will be true. So we don't want that. We want the false to go in there. And then we are going to spawn an actor of the class CS. I mean character switcher. Spawn. Yeah. And then it's pretty simple. We are going to get as my as my game instance reference. I mean, we can do this, but we already have a readout mode here, and then Unity will crash. Hopefully everything is saved and I don't have to like roll back a lot. Yeah, yeah, it did roll back a lot. CS exists, character switcher, okay. At least the variables are there. So what we were gonna do is I'm sorry. Oh wait. And I also need to like do this. I'm going to destroy the actor after. So yeah. Compile, save, copy the branch, this, Control C, Control V, and then this execution pin will go into that. I mean, I'm sorry. So yeah, and then we are going to get this CS existing. If it does, then we are not going to do anything. So that will go there. We are going to save, compile, overwrite, and we need to have character switcher, and it means that spawn transform. The spawn transform we can have this thing directly. Alright, because we are directly possessing that, then we can just have that transform going to both of them. And then we are going to get this, and then set a character switcher SS, and compile, save. That should that should be good, right? Just give me a second. I'll just check if there is some audio going on in the stream picture. Yeah, okay. So we did create the character switcher, and now what we are going to do is um, let me collect my thoughts. Okay, so we did create this, and let me check if the character switcher has the event. Yeah, it does. And now our game instance has the character switcher reference, so now we can call it in the human thing. So as my game instance, I'll get that, and I'll get character switcher. I mean, I can promote it to a variable, but I'll not be using it a lot, so I'm not going to. And from here, as my character switcher, I'll call the event possess char. Yeah, but I'll save. So instead of this possess, I'm going to want to have it like, okay, how am I going to explain this? So I'll have to pass this target, but there is already a target which is of this class type. So yeah, how am I going to do this? Okay, where is the character switching? Yeah. I need two inputs. Wait, this is a human reference, right? What reference is this? Player controller object reference. And then this thing, player controller object reference. Okay, so that's better. This is player controller object reference, and this is CD object reference. So this is going to be a tough choice to do, and a tough thing to do, because all these objects are different references, but this is the same reference. So one input we can have common, but this will change depending on where we are like calling the event. Uh, how are we going to do this? This is really tough to like decode. I mean, because character we can't have like, can we like call the parent or something? Can we like have it as a font reference? And let me check. So because character human is a child of class character, can I like just have it as, where is the input? The type character object reference or class reference? No, not class reference. It's an object reference. And let's just call it character underscore two dot two. Then compile save. Can I just like do this? Oh, it does work. So it makes things a lot more easier, I think. But then again, like, huh, how are we going to do this? So the thing that is like, so I think here's where we need like the interface stuff. So let me just create a new window. Um, real interface blueprint. It's a collection of one or more functions, name only, no implementation that can be added to blueprints, and a blueprint that has an interface added is guaranteed to have those functions. The functions of the interface can be given functionality in each of the blueprints that are added. This is essentially like the concept of an interface in general programming, which allows multiple different types of objects to share and be accessed through a common interface. Put simply, blueprint interfaces allow different blueprints to share with and send data to one another. Blueprint interfaces can be made by content creators through the editor in a similar fashion to other blueprints, but they come with certain limitations in that they cannot add new variables, edit graphs, add components. The use of blueprint interface allows for a common method of interacting with multiple separate types of objects that all share some specific functionality. This means you can have completely different types of objects, such as a car and a tree, and that share one specific thing, like they can both be shot by weapon fire and take damage. By creating a blueprint interface that contains a one take weapon fire function and having both the car and the tree implement that blueprint interface, you can treat the car and tree as the same type and simply call the on take fire weapon function. And either of them is short when either of them is short. Create- Creating blueprint interface creation within the content browser is as simple as right clicking. Okay, once we have created the blueprint interfaces are edited. The blueprint editor. Since you cannot create your own variables, graphs, or components, the process of interface editing differs greatly from the process of editing standard blueprint classes. When you first open up a new interface, the editor looks like this. If you have just created your interface, you will see that the editor has created a new blank function for you, named new function 0, and it will be highlighted for you to rename it. Added functions. Functions are the primary component of an interface. Interface functions have no implementation. They exist simply as a definition of inputs and outputs. These can be used to send data through the interface and or can be overridden within any blueprint that implements that interface. To add a new function. In my blueprint tab, create a new function by clicking the add button on the functions list header. In my blueprint pane, enter a name for a new function. The new graph area will appear with the new function. Note that the function has neither inputs nor outputs. So this is basically like an interface which works in programming, but yeah, um, how do I want to do this? So I have a reference to my game instance over here. I'm checking for uh, this is why you don't like to do this much confusing stuff at the time. Yes. Hmm. And I can like remove this destroy actor because it was supposed to be temporary. And I can remove the process. No, don't remove the process because we need to understand what we are doing. So character E, character D, and character H, all three are different, acting like different things, but they all should be having a possess, uh, possess character switcher interface, which will give information to the character switcher about the camera position. But then again, we also need to like give it some information about who the player or something. So what we are basically trying to do is put all of this code in the character switcher, right? That's what I'm thinking will happen. Then over here, yeah. So this character change input action, will it do? It will call the interface, I think. It will process it to character switcher. Hmm. Okay, so let's make an interface here. Blueprint class. No, 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 no. Blueprints, print interface, calling it courses, underscore characters, courses underscore CS, and it will not have anything right now. Let's just rename this as courses underscore CS. Compile C. I'm sorry. Yeah. So whenever like this thing is called, we are going to pass the characters which are some information. What information are we going to give it? We're going to give it the follow cameras, transforms, and then the game instance reference, I think. Can we get game instance in this? Oh no, we can't do anything over here. And alright, and we also need to go into class settings and implement an interface called uh, poses character switcher. Yeah. Compile C. Okay, the Unreal crashed away. Oh, restore. Okay. Okay. So then did we implement the interface or yeah, we did implement the interface. So let's just call the interface. What's this? Event process event interface call. Target cell. Okay. Is this the same thing? I don't know. Process CS interface call. Cast to process CS class call function. I think it is this. I'm not sure. Wait, there is the interface. Okay, yeah. Add process CS. Compile. Use over, hedges over. The class settings. Interface add process CS. Compile save. I don't know if the interface is supposed to look like this. It should look like this, right? Um, Like process, yes. No, that is also not what process, yes. Interface call, even process, no. Call function, target is CA. Oh, why is this looking so wildly different? Selling process, yes. Still not working. What's wrong? And did I change something or anything? Oh, that's weird. So I did create the interface. It did like added interface is converted. Okay. When an interface is added to a blueprint, that blueprint must implement the interface functions in order to have them perform any action when called. This is done by placing event nodes for the interface functions in the event graph. The nodes connected to the event define the functionality or implement for the function. Right-click in the event graph of the blueprint and choose Add Event. So add event process. Yes. Yeah. There we go. So we need to have that, and then this will be the interfaces definition within C. And similarly, we are going to have to add it for H and B. And we can process probably. No, wait, we need that to like, there is a processing step. We need to like add some inputs to it. Okay, save. Is everything saved? Save current. Okay, so now how are we going to do this? So instead of directly processing it, we can send the player controller and we can send a new player controller to process, and then we can process it over there after some certain implementation. So how are we going to do this? And then wait a second. Let me just put this up. How are we going to implement this? So this will be the definition. Within this send calling interface function, the functions of the interface are executed through the use of interface message nodes. These look and act like regular function calls, except that they can fail silently if the target does not implement the interface. Okay. Calling interface functions, yeah. The functions of the interface are executed through the use of interface message nodes. These look and act as regular function calls. So if I have, where is this? Yeah. If I try to call the process event process CS, no, this is not the thing. Process event process CS. That will be the event. So what will trigger this event? It should be over here, right? Event pulses, yes. Call function, no. Cast pulses, yes, no. Interface call, no. I want like this letter kind of thing to show up. This looks kind of like the function calls. Calling interface function on other programs. Interface. Oh, event process. Yes. Would again go back to this. No. Call event. No. Call. Call event. No. So I think we need a self. Get reference to a self. Then we call the process yes. No. Process yes. Call function. Why is this like this? What? I have no idea why is it like showing me this. So if I go to the settings details, we can't edit it because we have to edit it over like here. What is the thing? Yeah, have to add inputs over here. Let's call it uh, let's go char, then it will be a character reference object, compile save. So where is the thing? Okay, so it is actually calling the interface, but that letter thing is vanished for some reason. Just to confuse us or something. Yeah. Hmm. So this will be the implementation of what it will do. This event should not do much, right? It will just like pass everything into the character spot. So having this interface is like really useless, in my opinion at least. I mean, having it is a little bit useful, I think. So here's the thing. Hmm. How am I going to do this? So, so the real like problem is if I do the, I mean, if I pass the target as a character object into the character switcher, we'll be having two objects, I mean, two references. One is of the type, like, what is that? One is of the type controller object reference, and one is of the type character or pawn object reference, which is fine, but when you actually go into this, you don't know from which thing it is coming, right? And to actually possess it, wait, wait a second. So the possess has controller object reference and a pawn object reference. The pawn object reference is actually okay, right? So okay, wait. Just a second. I need to test something, but I don't know how I'm going to do with this. I mean, how I'm going to test it with all this mess around. character change, right? Yeah. Let us try to do this over here. So as my game instance, the first branch is checking if there is an elf object, right? So I'm going to cast to character, not see, cast to character. I can't cast it to character. Okay, so I can't cast it apparently. Hmm. Because this is, where is this going? Inside inform, right? And that is a pawn object reference. Cast to pawn, my turn to casting. Huh. I just want to test if I can like have this reference object. So let's just have a local variable, call it pawn, and then Unreal is going to crash again. What is causing it to crash? Unreal Engine is exiting due to the 3D service being lost. What does that mean? Let me just Google this. Let me send and restart. According to Unreal Engine developers, this issue is usually occurs when the computer graphics or hardware components are not being properly synchronized with Unreal Engine. Excuse me. Which in turn causes it to not work properly with D3D devices being lost. Updated Unreal Engine? No, it's the latest version. Antivirus software? I don't have an antivirus software. Outdated device drivers? Maybe that's the problem. Incomplete Steam files. Steam often works with Unreal Engine if its game/installation files are corrupt or incomplete. You will experience an error message under discussion. GeForce settings. These modules are known to conflict with the game. Disabling a module or disabling specific settings usually solves the problem. Overclocking. I'm not doing any overclocking. Default graphics card. Maybe that's the issue. I have no idea. Okay. I'll try to fix it later on, but yeah, let me just check what happened. Open. So what was I trying to do? Yeah, I where did I add it? Did I not add it? Okay. So we'll try to add it to the human character. So this guy event, I'm going to remove that guy event completely. There's not going to be any guy events, at least for now. Just to save myself some hassle. Okay. So let's have a variable, call it form underscore temp underscore obj, and it's gonna be a phone object reference. And can I like set it and then yeah. So yeah, we can have it as a pawn reference. It's actually casting it on its own, I think. So what we can do is there is an interface, not game instance, there is an interface. Yeah. So this would be, no wait, there is a yeah, the process node needs two things. Controller object reference and pawn to be processed. I mean, wait a second. Can we like Okay, so if we do we need to pass this get player controller until get it directly over there so that we can just have a pawn object reference for this interface. This is character object reference, which is not what we want. We need a pawn object reference, pawn object reference, and then it's not current character, it's gonna be two character. I mean, no, okay, two character, compile, save, and we also need to have the camera, follow camera. What is this? Camera component object reference. Camera component object reference. Then we are going to add cam comp camera underscore comp, and this is going to be camera vector, no, camera component. So camera component object reference, compile save. So this, okay, that's the problem. So when we are getting this over here, CE object reference. This is a CE object reference, but this is a pawn object reference. So we can even like get the CE object reference. Um, Instead of getting CE object reference, we're getting camera component of the current thing, and we can get the camera component of the other thing, like whatever the other thing is. So this camera component underscore from, no, let's just have F camera component, and then add another one, call it T camera component. So it's like from the camera component and then to the camera component and to cat. Okay, this is our interface. So we'll have three of them. And in my save, compile, save. Yeah, everything is saved, right? Save. In my character switcher thing, what is this? Okay, this is a custom event which we'll be calling camera switcher. So this thing should have the same like inputs as that thing, right? Because this is where we'll be doing the stuff. Character, not character, it's a pawn object reference, object, pawn object reference. And Unreal is going to crash again. Come on, dude. Sorry. How do we like fix this? I'll have to look it up again. Whatever. Okay. Open. So yeah, where were we? Okay, this thing is a pawn object reference and whatever. Where is this? Yeah, it's two character. So we are going to name it also as two underscore character. We are going to name it basically as it is, F camera component and P camera component. So for this, I'm just going to copy this. Then we are going to add another input, name it F camera component, add another input, name it P camera component, and we are going to change it to camera component object reference, and then this is also camera component object reference. Compile, save, and save everything. So whenever we are pressing the character change, it will get game instance reference. And from my game instance reference, we are going to need to get the character switcher reference. Character switcher reference, and then from there we can call the event called, what is it, character switcher or whatever. What was a thing? Was a scan, right? Can call the possess scan function or event or whatever. So yeah, and then we are also going to call the possess. Yeah, we need to event possess cs console, and then we can call possess cs. Wait, possess cs. Yeah. So this will go over here to cal from com to com. This is the implementation of that. And over here, depending on which one we are possessing, we are going to call it, right? So the target is controller object reference, one object reference. How are we going to do this? Now we're going to need another like possess CS. The play controller. I mean, can we like skip this and just get it over there and then into process? I think we can. So this is one object reference, right? This will go to here, and then we can get rid of this. It's false, we need that. The same thing, it's false, it will fall over here. That's it. And we need from camera component and to camera component. So from camera component would be this. And then two camera component will be get camera view. No, two camera component would be that. Compile save. And then I think we can like not have that. Compile save. Yeah, I'm coming to that. You can just have this is copied and pasted. We don't need this number. This will go there, but then it's going to crash again. I hate when Unreal's crashing all the time. Oh no. Okay, okay. I just got scared. Save, compile, and then copy these two, paste them, we'll go there, we'll go there, and then game instance will go there, everything except for you more there. No, 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 don't do that. I'm not going to do that. If I say, yeah. So this will be the implementation of camera switching thing. And this is how we are going to process it. We have to do the same thing everywhere else. So the implementation of this thing is the same, right? Let me get instance here. So we can just copy this. Then we can just paste it over here. And then paste it over here. Compile save. Compile save. And over here, instead of like processing it, we're going to call the process, yes. Also you can only call singular, follow camera, T, then two character will that, is that, then that. And this would be follow camera, the target, yeah. Two camera will be this. Now then follow camera, is that, file save. Here did we do the same thing? No, we didn't. We follow camera. This will be the camera. Control save. Control save. Delete this, compile save, process, yes, no, not even process, process, yes, proceed, re, pause, two character H, two character E, follow camera, get camera, camera, component, no, get camera, here, delete, do that, then we control V, okay, follow, get follow camera, target camera, compress it. You can delete this one. Hit play, controller delete. So, and it's gonna crash again. Very good. We are done with implementing the interface. Now we have to do this, do this logic. So first of all, we need to possess, no, get player controller, and then possess component self. So we are going to first possess this thing, but before that, we need to get this camera's transform, get transform, get transform, get socket location, get socket transform, yeah, whatever. Um, I don't think it's a socket transform. Get location, get world location. There is get world location. Let's get world transform. Yeah, we need that. So we are going to get the camera's transform, and then we are going to self to that transform. Self transform, set actor transform, set actors transform to this, and then we are going to process that. If I'll save, let's see what happens. So as you can see, when we press C, we can't do anything. Okay, so it's trying to get the camera view, which is not what I want. Just I think that's not what I want. Yeah, whatever. Let's just see if we can do this properly. So after we have processed this, it will do some kind of stuff. Wait a second. So let's just not have this. Let's have this. And this is fine. But let's have a variable called is switching, which will tell us if it's already switching and if it's true, or only do this if it's false. And then we are going to set is switching to true, so that once it gets into this, it will set it to true, so it can't get into that again. And then we are going to have to set is switching to false after everything is done. So yeah, we have processed this. And then we are going to get world transform of this. And then we are going to transform. So this transform, and then this transform, and then alpha would be a timeline, add timeline, call it transition or something. And then, wait, what? Hmm, did finish now. Timeline. Wait a second. Timeline length would be 1 or something. And add a float track. We are going to add 2 points to it. How do we add points? We're going to select this. This time is going to be 0, 0, value is going to be 0. This time is going to be 1, value is going to be 1. Then we're going to crash Unreal again. So take a second timeline. Unreal. Okay. Characters which are like, why is it zooming? Yeah. So text world transform timeline transition love transform this and then this, then return value would be that, but set transform, not set transition, camera set transform, set world transform, yes, this will transform, and then not this, and then finished to this, and like playing this and updating this set world transform to that, and then compile save, and then when we open this, its length should be 1, add a float, add key, this thing's time would be 1, value would be 1, distance time, distance time would be 0, value would be 0, compile save, quick, compile save, select board, and do auto, compile save, back to VimJam. This new track would go to alpha. I'll say, and then we can rename this probably. Where do we rename this? I don't know where we can rename this. Right. Rename, call it alpha underscore transition file save. So when I go back, it would be named alpha transition. Yep. File save. Let's see what happens now. Yeah, stop. So that's working good, but after doing this, after finishing, before settings is switching to false, or maybe after setting is switching to false, we need to do another thing, which is Control C, Control V. We need to possess the two character, and we also need to get the controller, get the area controller, and then file save. There. So if I go like over here, I can do that. Then why did it happen only once? That happened, but now it's not happening. Oh, that's weird. I did set it up in such a way like this will happen, right? Hmm. So what's wrong over here? Target is process CS, yeah? Target is CD, right? No, what is CD? CD is this self. Why is it like in that process CS? No, should be this. Yeah, that's it. And target is process CS now. Process CS, target is CD, yeah. That's it. We're just going to crash. Very good. Okay. This character custom event. So this character target is character switcher. Yeah. Target this character switcher. Yep. But compile save. Compile save. Play. Why is it doing this? Okay. What is the verify? Maybe because I'm possessing. Oh, I'm possessing after this, right? So what's the problem? Setting it to true. So like if I try to spam the C button, nothing will happen until I like process it. Finish direction alpha. Okay, maybe play from start. I'll say play. So yeah, but yeah, so that's good. But I don't want this to happen always. So let's go to the viewport and let's add another component called capsule collision called switch underscore box. Let's scale it up. Where is it? It's so small. Capsule half height would be, yeah, whatever. Then the scale would max would be 10. Y would be 10. Z would be 10. No, it's scale and X would be 50, Y would be 50, and Z would be 10. And its half height would be 22 maybe. No, 44. Capsule radius would be 44. No, maybe 50. I don't know what this will do. Okay, I can't have it more than like 44, I guess. So this is fine, but it's too close in my opinion. I want it to be bigger. You know what? Let's just delete this. Let's add another component called sphere collision. Name it what was it? Switch underscore sphere, and then we are going to scale it up by around. X would be 50, Y would be 50, that would be 50. Yeah, that's better. And it would be, yeah, obviously that, but yeah, and its collisions would be not simulate physics, simulate generate events, not overlap all dynamics. I guess, yeah, overlap all dynamics. Can affect can ever affect navigation. Whether this component can potentially influence navigation. No, nor analytic collisions. No, use CCC continuous collision detection will be used Always create physics state, multi-body overlap. Through this component will generate individual overlaps for each overlapping physics body. If it is a multi-body component, when false, this component will generate only one overlap, regardless of how many physics bodies it has and how many of them are overlapping another component body. This flag has no influence on single body components. This complex on return material or no. Compile, save. So whenever on begin overlap happens, we need to check if the other actor is a pawn, cast to pawn. Alright, and we have that thing as pawn too, right? So this will not work. That we are going to cast to CE or DE or whatever. Cast to character would be better. Yeah. If it's a character, then what do we need to do? It's some kind of like okay. Let's add another mesh component, static mesh component, calling in underscore range, and there is a mesh. Let's not physics mesh. 1 meter cube or something. Where is that? Let's just move it over there. And then we're going to scale it down. Not up, down, up. Compile save, and it's hidden by default. Here is a generate overlapping ones, no. Local dynamic, no. Collisions, character step upon it, no. Visible, no. File save. And then when we are like having this, when we cast it properly, then let's just say in range set visibility to true, and then I'll say yeah. Let's just see this. Why can't I see this? Maybe because you're spawning with that or something. So yeah. So because we are like spawning within the range, it's not like showing up. So where is the thing? Since we are on component hit, on component end overlap, on component wait. Yeah, on component end overlap. But before that, so I click on release. Event call when component hits. So is hit by something solid. This could happen due to things like character movement, using set location, which will enable or physics simulation. No. So by default, you're not going to have it. I mean, it's going to be visible but not hidden in game. Oh, wait, no, not this one. In range, yeah. It's going to be visible by default. And then when we do this, like what happened? Control C, Control V, yep. If the other actor is a character which left the sphere, then we are going to set its visibility to false. So Control C, Control V, other actor, set visibility to false, save, compile, save, in range is visible, yeah. This thing is both. Okay, compile, save. So now when I play, it will have a box, but when I leave the area, it should vanish. Yep. Oh, this sphere is a lot bigger than I thought. So you put, let's just amp it down, I guess. Let's make it half, or maybe 30 would be enough. 30, 30, 30. Compile, save. So this is just a visual representation of if I'm in range of the character or not to be able to swap. So I apparently am. So now we are going to do the same thing for everything else. I mean, the other two characters. Add component, sphere collision, solid, whatever that thing will call. Right, compile, save, what it will call it, whatever. Switch sphere. Rename, Control C. That's actually better. Rename Control V. And it's 30 by 30. Control save. The same thing in human. We're going to add a sphere collision. Rename it to switch sphere. Report. Compile save. It's going to be a scale 30. 30, 30, not 40, 30, 30, wait, 30, wait, 30, compile, save, compile, save, compile, save, and then we need a static component of in range, static mesh in underscore range. Oh, that's why. It doesn't need to be a child of that. I'll say, wait, it's a child of this thing, so it will move, right? We'll see. Then have component. I mean, we can have it as that child. It's not a big deal. Static mesh. Whose name is in range. Compile save. Can child this compiles files not proxy. Okay. I'll save current just so that if it crashes, nothing will happen. And then how did we set this up? I mean, that's going to be visible. That's by default visible. Since collision, it's gonna generate. It's gonna generate hit events. It's not. It's gonna generate overlap events. And it's gonna generate overlap all dynamic. Simulate overlap all dynamic. Yep. Yep. Compile save. And then we are going to add this. Also add this. Compile save. The same over here. We're going to add that. And we're going to add that. Compile save. Going to go into event graph. And then just do this. We are going to delete those references because this thing is different. And then over here to delete those references because this thing is different again. And Unreal is crashed. Okay. So this thing is fine, this thing is fine. In human, we were deleting this, connecting this, and other actors. Then in range. I mean, I can just use one of those, but whatever. So now, when we do this, oh wait, I should also like open this for design range. We're going to move it up. And then we didn't even assign it to mesh. Oh, what happened? Wait, what happened? Oh, it's so big. Why is it so big? Scale 1. Wait, what? Why is it so big? Okay, wait. I think just because I like read the thing is 0.005. Control C, Control V, Control V. It's gonna be a cube, and Z is gonna be 10. I'll say the same thing would be for this, this, and then this is gonna be 10. Compile, say the same thing for this too. Control V, Control V. This is gonna be 10, and it's gonna be a 1 meter cube. I'll say. So now when I press play, I do have the cube. So when I walk in, I can switch with that and that. When I walk in over here, I can switch it with that and that. So now, because we can do that, go into event graph. Fill it to like, yeah, this event graph. Okay, over here. If it is alive and if it is in range, only then can we do that. If it's not in range, it won't do that. And if it is in range, how will we know that? We are already getting the reference over here, right? So, so in human, no. So if we are already in this, like if we are possessing a human, we don't want this to happen. It will switch it off to false and then unset the visibility or something, I think. So we are going to add a variable called in range underscore range. Name is already in use, yeah, because we have the spheres name. That's the same thing. Inside range. Inside range. Which will be false by default. So whenever we are like doing this, we are going to set it to not two things. We are going to set it to true or set it to false. Compile save. The same thing with event graph, inside underscore range, set it to true if that, and false if that. Compile save. And then in this thing too, we have another variable called inside underscore range. Then set it to true if that, and then set it to false if that. And now, because we have all this stuff already set up like this, let's just move all of that to us. Let's move all that to a side, and then we'll get this inside range. And then we can just do and boolean, not this one. Okay, Unreal crashed. Very good. And so I think let's just close this. We only need we only need these three. Yep, fine. So now we are going to move them over there. This will be over here. And we will have an and boolean. Control C, Control V. This will go here. This will go there. This will go there. And the and would be inside range. Get inside range of this. And then the same thing inside range of this. Compile save. If both of those conditions are true, then do that. Same thing over here. We're going to move all of this to a side. Add to and branches, Control C, Control V, and get inside range, inside range. Do that, do that, do that, do that, that, and then that. Compile save. Do the same thing over here. And put it towards the side, save the level, just in case. You have an and boolean, hook it to the output of that and that, and get in range, inside range, yeah, inside of range of that, inside of range of that, and then compile save. So hopefully now if I go outside of the range, I should not be able to switch. Wait, what? Obviously, when I'm inside the range, that's fine. But oh god, why is that happening? Okay, so I guess I kind of know the answer, but I'm really not sure. Okay, so what's happening is yeah, inside the range of okay, so this code will not get executed when I'm in some other point. and I'm in some other font, then that thing's code. So if I'm like that dwarf, then this code will get executed. And it will set the dwarf's boolean to true. And we are checking for the other things in range thing over here, which is not how it should work, technically speaking. So we have to do something else. So yeah, cast the character. So if you're dwarf, then there can be only two other characters, human or elf. So do we need to cast it to human and elf? Cast to human, cast to elf, and then all methods of them properly, hopefully. So cast to c underscore human or cast to c underscore elf. If the cast fails, yeah. So this, let's not have that. Let's just move this over here, compile save. We're going to cast to human. If that's not the case, we are going to cast to elf. And as a human, we are going to call an event which will tell it to set its thing. So we are in dwarf right now, right? We are going to we're going to set our event. We have to make it an event or a function. I think it would be better if we did it as a function. And a function called set underscore in range, which will take a boolean named in range inside. Okay, it's gonna crash again. Come on, dude. Why is this happening to me? Alright, I didn't like do this. I should probably do that. So then as a character, no wait. Okay, we didn't even add the function. Add function called set underscore in range, and it will take a boolean called in range, and it will set inside range to in range. That's it. The same thing over here. Set underscore in range, compile set underscore in range, compile save, and we are going to add in range variable control C. Then we are going to set it to this, whatever this is, compile save. Then same thing, add an input as in range, set its inside range as this compile save. So this is the second method. Right. So in blocks event graph, as a human, we are going to call set in range to true. If it's begin overlap or the same thing set in range to true. The same logic over here. Right. Not just that, we also need to set visibility of in range to true. Yeah. Compile save. So whatever the set in range is, set visibility of in range to also be that, whatever that is. So now you don't need to castigate the character or have this. You can just have this. We are going to cast to human, the other actor that is. If it fails, then we are going to try to cast it to an L. And if it is on end overlap, we are going to set it to false. So this both are just like you can just arrange them and comment them as in range code. In range code, yeah. And this is the event process definition. Okay. I'm bad at spelling, so I'm probably wrong. But yeah. And then we need to clean this up. This would be change underscore cat for compile save. So I hope I'm done with the co-op thing. And then they are going to have to do the same thing. Whatever. Change underscore and then we're going to name this as what is it? Event process yes. So it's what did I name it in that thing? It's in range. No, it's not in range. It's event process definition. Or I can just say that when process def, and you can call this as in range compile save, and graph save and review. See change underscore flag. And this would be what is it? This is in range. Okay, compile save. So in range would be human elf, human elf. After all, it's human, and if it's not human, then elf. So in elf, it would be cast character. No, this is not the thing. Delete. we're going to cast it to cd cast to cd if it failed then we are going to cast it to c underscore h control c control v. The cast fails. If the cast fails, then we are going to do that. And if it passed, then we are going to actually call the set in range to true, and then set in range to true. I think let's press this. This, this, file save. So the same thing over here. We're going to delete all this, compile, save. I'm saving so many times because I don't want it to crash. Yeah, so on begin overlap, and it crashed. Great. Send and restart. Then ball, yeah. So we are going to cast the actor cast to LC and cast to CD. If the cast fails, and then we're going to set no cast C set set in range then set in range. And then we can do this, do that, the actor, setting range to true here and false here. False here. Play. So for me also it's going that yeah. Oh, what? Why is this happening? Am I not checking it? I thought I was checking it before switching. Yeah, only if this and inside range is full, then we'll do that. But the inside range is false when they're not overlapping. Inside range is false, right? By default, yeah. Why is this happening then? Hmm, if inside range of activity is true, only then. Hmm, true, 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 false, false. Right, I have to change this too. I forgot about that completely. The visibility of in range to do the same thing. So visibility set visibility. So now, okay, so save. I don't know why this is happening. Crash to my game instance. We're checking the branch, which will check if it's in range. Inside range, yeah. Why is this? Should not be in range, right? What is this? Hmm. For some reason, this thing is being set to in range, but not setting to outside range. Wait, maybe if I try to do this, I'll go to this corner, I'll go to this corner, and then this would be on the opposite end. So now nothing is in range, but still we can switch. And then this guy is spawning for some reason. So current, maybe because there is a project settings. Maybe it's because of maps and modes. Game instance is my game instance, that's fine. Game mode is third person game mode, that's fine. Default one class. Maybe we can have it as none, and then we can try and let's see if it spawns again. No, it's not spawning, yeah. Why is it still like trying to do it, even though it should not be technically going anywhere after this? Oh wait, wait a second. If it is dead and if it is not inside range. Oh, it is dead. If it is dead, then wait a second. So if the elf is dead, then we are possessing the elf. No, if it is dead, it will go here, right? It's dead, and if it is not in range, so we cannot have this, I think. This dead, and we cannot have that either. This that. So if it is dead, we'll do that. If it is not dead, we need to have another branch which will check if it is inside range. If it is not, if it is inside range, do that, or go back to check the other thing if it is the other thing is inside range or dead. So if it is not dead, if this thing is not dead, and then if it is inside range, it's not dead, and if it is inside range, do this. Just don't do anything. Yeah, it should be this logic. So that's why it wasn't working before. Let's extend this. Let's extend this. Let's extend this. And bring this back. Delete the ends. If it is not dead. If it is not dead. If it is inside range branch. And this is also inside range. Compile, save. Holy hell. Okay. So no, it went. No. Why did it roll back backwards? I saved it. I very well remember that I saved it. So you go there, you go there, you go there. So if it is not dead, then this is not dead. And if it is inside range, it's inside range, go to that. If it's not inside range, do that. And if this is inside range, do that. If it's not, then don't do anything. Create them, expand, expand, branch. If it is inside range, do this. If it is not inside range, go back there. This is branch. This side to that. If it is inside range and not that to this. Right? Yeah. So there. Right. This is set, I think. Yeah, this is set. This is also set. And then this is also set. Right? Instead, instead, false. Yep. False. Yep. False. Compile save. Compile save. So now if we try to do this like we were meant to, now when I press C, nothing should be happening. Yep, nothing is happening. But when I go into range, I can switch. So because I'm in range of the block and this, I can be switching between these two and not on the right. Why is it this guy? Maybe the thing got changed again. So where is the project settings? Yep. Apps and modes. Default font is that. Save. Save all. Yeah. So that was character switching. It took a while, but we finally did it. Hmm. So now let's just tidy things up. Figure out mode. Control C, Control V. Go here, here, go here, here. Figure out. Okay, this is crashing too much. I think the end of the stream over here because it's just tidying up some stuff. Thank you for watching.